Hey guys, it's Monique Bradley here. Welcome to my kitchen. I have been on low carb keto lifestyling for the last couple of years. I'm really enjoying how I feel. And I know for most people when they try a diet, they really miss having those delicious decadent treats that sometimes got them into trouble with their weight in the first place. What I love about low carb and keto is that I can still literally have a few treats and maintain my lifestyle as well and have great health at the same time. So today I thought I'd share with you one of my most highly searched recipes from my website. This is a low carb or keto, lazy keto sponge cake recipe. And what I love about it is I am also lazy, so I let the machine do most of the hard work, which is whipping your egg whites to make this recipe happen. So the first thing I've done already is I've actually separated 4 egg yolks from egg whites, and I've got the egg whites over here in my mixer, and I'm actually going to put those on to whip now. So that's really the hardest part of the whole recipe. So I'll get those cranking. Now I don't want them super stiff peaks like I would say for meringues or a pavlova, but I want them pretty thick and pretty creamy. The 4 egg yolks I've got here, I'm going to smash those up and cream them together. In this bowl, I've got 1/3 cup of erythritol, so I'm going to mix this up. Erythritol, if you don't know, is just another low-carb, sugar-free sweetener. It's used instead of maybe monk fruit or stevia. I just have it in the cupboard at the moment. So I'm going to mix those through, and I'm also going to mix in there a teaspoon of vanilla essence, but you could also replace that with a little, perhaps if you prefer a little lemon or whatever your favorite is. So mix that all through, make sure it's all nice and creamy there. Pop that over to the side. Over here, 1.5 cups of almond meal. I'm going to mix into that a teaspoon of baking powder. So this recipe is not only low carb and keto, it's actually wonderful because it is beautifully gluten-free and it's diabetes friendly as well. Mix all that in there. Okay, I'm going to add in the last of my erythritol into that mix too. And I'm going to grab another fork and mix that all through. Right, here we go. Mix that all through very gently. And then I'm going to add the whole lot into my egg yolk mix. So we've kind of combined those ingredients. And then I'm going to mix that all through. Now we don't want to go too hardcore. Just going to make sure it's all blended through. And that's going to form the basis of the sponge cake before we add in our egg whites, which have been whipping away there. So really it's a super simple recipe. That's good to go. Now the most important thing is because we've whipped up those egg whites, we don't want to destroy all the air that's going to help the sponge cake rise. So first of all, we're looking really good. We're starting to get nice creamy, if you have a look inside, nice kind of creamy egg whites there. Now what we need to do is add into the mix a little pinch of salt. And I've also got a teaspoon here of, this is my favorite, apple cider vinegar. Teaspoon of that into the mix as well. I'm going to give that one last whiz and then we're good to go. Mix that all through. And we're done. That was nice and easy. So take this. I've used a balloon whisk today as well, as that's the best one for aerating the egg whites. Great. Move that out of the way too. Okay, so what we're going to do is add in a little bit of the egg white bit by bit. And the most important thing is I want you to use a metal spoon because that prevents us from killing all the air that we've just added into the egg yolk mix. And we're going to do it basically bit by bit and just cut it through. If you had somebody in the kitchen who taught you when you were a child to kind of just cut through and fold it over, that's exactly what you need to do here too. So add a little more of the egg white. Looking good. Cut it through. And remember, we don't want to kill all of that air. We don't want to beat it all out of it as we stir. So go really easy when you're doing this. And add in that last bit. Get all the last bits of goodness and throw it into your bowl. And that's pretty much as difficult as it gets. It really is a very simple recipe. It does help if you have some sort of benchtop mixer like this. I love it. I use it for just about everything. And I'll use it again for whipping some cream to cover the top. Now that actually brings me to a really good point. What do you finish it with? Well, I love a good sponge cake that has a topping of whipped cream. Again, that's low carb and keto. And I like to sweeten my whipped cream with a little bit of maybe stevia, or today I'm using erythritol. So I would use that and vanilla essence. I love vanilla essence in everything practically. Make sure this is nicely cut through, by the way, because you want a nice even consistency. Like that. Perfect. Brilliant. And that is going to rise beautifully. Right, the next thing we need to do is I have the good old baking tin. So I've got greaseproof paper in the bottom, and inside of my baking tin I have also greased it to make sure that when the cake is cooked it will come out beautifully, and it will basically, it should start to move away from the edge of the tin when you're done. Right, and this goes into an oven which I've already heated at 180 degrees Celsius. And I put everything that I bake on fan bake. I just think you get a better result. Brilliant, look at that. So everything's mixed through beautifully, and it should look quite creamy as well. Oh yeah, this is going to be fantastic. Now I don't want to mess with it too much, but I do want to make sure it moves out to the sides a little bit, because I do like a sponge cake that's at least quite flat, because when you're going to top it, and as I mentioned, adding whipped cream on top always looks great. And then I'm going to top it with blueberries today and some strawberries as well, which are still low carb, which is great. Plus you're adding antioxidants into your diet and loads of vitamin C, which is really important. Right. We are all done. Straight into the oven. So in my oven, this takes about 30 minutes to bake. It will rise. It's not hugely huge. It doesn't rise as high as a lot of other sponge cakes. So if you want one of those double layer sponge cakes, I recommend actually making 2 of these. Put some whipped cream and strawberries in the middle, and then pop another one on top. But let's see how this one goes in the oven first. So I've been keeping an eye on my sponge cake to make sure I get it to the ideal colour. And this is the colour we've got to. It's a beautiful kind of golden colour. And it's nice and flat, which is what we want. I also used, you can use a knitting needle, or I used a very sharp knife just to pop into there like you would with any other cake, just to make sure it comes out clean, because that's how we know it's cooked. So that's ready to go. We're going to dress it, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks. First of all, whipped cream, love it. It's the best thing to go on top of your sponge cake. So I'm going to use half a bottle, so about 250 mils should be, maybe a little bit more for good luck, into there. We're going to whip that up, and to sweeten it, I'm using a tablespoon of sweetener. So today I'm using erythritol, but you might choose to use, say, some stevia or some powdered monk fruit, entirely up to you. I like erythritol because it's really nice and light. If you want a lighter finish with your whipped cream, you can take something like stevia or erythritol and blend it down so it goes really fine, like icing sugar. There you go, as a little bonus tip. And I have a teaspoon of vanilla essence. I love vanilla essence in just about everything. I put it in my smoothies. I put it in just about every dessert you can imagine. I just think it's fabulous. Particularly if you're making a smoothie with something like cottage cheese, it will mask that kind of tangy flavour of the cottage cheese and still give you a beautiful thickening with the cottage cheese. So brilliant. All right, getting that whipping straight away. We want that relatively thick because we're going to load it up here on top of the sponge cake and then load it up with berries. So I want it relatively thick and creamy and delicious. So how do we deal with the sponge? First of all, take your ring cake off there, or your ring off there. And I just want to take it off there. I'm actually going to serve it on this board here. It's nice and cool. Take off the paper, and then I'm going to pop it back down onto the board. and pop it back in my ring tin. And the reason being, what I actually want to do is load the whole thing up with cream and throw my berries on top and give it kind of a rustic look. Oh, yum. My whipped cream is done. I'm just going to shake that all off my balloon whisk here. Delicious. I know it's going to taste great and it's going to look great on top of my sponge cake. Right, so I grew up in a kitchen with a mum who was a cooking teacher, and she had a special methodology, which is kind of throw everything together and make it look as rustic as possible. So that's kind of the way I'm approaching this today as well. Now remember too, when you're in low carb and keto, things like whipped cream are your friend. So we're all about adding some delicious fats to our diet. But remember too, with low carb and keto treats in particular, you are still taking in calories. So even with treats, you want to think about portions just a little bit more, because some of this is going to be higher in calories than other desserts you might have or other meals you might have as well. So it's really important just to be mindful that this is still a treat. Right, you heard it here. So I'm just going to push all of my cream right out to the edge of the ring tin. So what it does is it gives you a nice kind of support for your whipped cream there, so it doesn't kind of go everywhere, because for me, I always find icing things really, really hard. So it will still look really rustic and delicious, but at the same time, it's going to have some sort of sense of shape there as well. All right, looking good. Spoon that all down. Here we go. Throwing it all together, looking perfect. I ideally don't want it, super smooth or anything. I am not a domestic goddess. I just like food. Right, so first thing we want to do, I've cut up some strawberries. Now remember, these are so good for you. They are still low carb, they're not high in sugars, really good, got bits of fiber in there as well. You can do anything you like with them. You can throw them on in whatever order. Some people like symmetrical patterns. I just really like them whatever way, but I do like them this way up. I really like the shape. I like the look and feel of them this way. So you can throw them in there like that. And then if you've got them more bunched up in the center, give them a bit more space towards the outside. And the reason being is we're going to drop our blueberries into the mix as well and really make it look visually interesting. So kind of spread them around. Looking really good there actually. Couple more places there. Awesome, love it, looking great. That's that one done, and then literally perfect. So we don't want it really, well, I don't like it too symmetrical. I think it's less high maintenance by putting them everywhere. Now these blueberries are particularly fantastic. I got them at my local supermarket. They're a brand called Eureka, and they are absolutely huge. I had a chat to the head of the fresh vegetables and fruit section at my local supermarket, and he said right now here in New Zealand, it is late November in New Zealand, and now is the best time for your berries. So if you're watching that at this time of year, just heading into summer around the world is your best time for berries. In New Zealand, we don't want to wait till Christmas Day to make a sponge cake or top a pavlova with your berries. You want to eat them now and enjoy them when they're actually at their best. I mean, look at that. Isn't that just divine? The colors are great. You can also add in here other berries. So you might want to use half pitted cherries, but remember they will bleed a little bit with the juice. You can also use blackberries and boysenberries. Boysenberries tend to be a little more bitter. Blackberries are delicious. They're more finely packed, so you have to chew through them a little bit more. Boysenberries tend to be a little squishier, which is always nice. Here we go, and I am done. So that's most of a pack of blueberries and 2/3 of a punnet of strawberries. Right, let's see if we can make this work. Da, da, da. And I need one berry fell away. So there you go, my friends. How good does that look? Super simple. Looks like it's restaurant quality. I'm just moving the cream off my board there. Looks like it's restaurant quality, and the great thing is it's a really low maintenance dish. That's what I love about it. Now, if you want the recipe, you can head to my website, moniquebradley.tv, or if you're on my website watching this recipe, have a look through all of my other recipes. All of my recipes are designed to be gluten-free, They're low carb or keto recipes. They're pretty much gut friendly as well. And they're here to enable you to have your treats and eat them too, because I believe every day is a great day to treat yourself. Well, I hope you like it. I know what I'm going to do. Time for a cup of tea and a piece of sponge cake. Hey, thanks guys. See you next time.